be here, and I know you want to be here. I want you here because you were in my office, and I was like, okay. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see. Oh, hello.
We in the place for peace. So I'm gonna get the middle seat right now.
Oh, you right.
I think it probably look better. We both all in the film. We all in the picture. Oh, you good? We in there.
Oh, we are in there.
We in there.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we live.
Oh, Corey, you didn't tell me we were going live.
He was in there. He was like, oh.
You didn't tell me we were going live.
We can go live. Well, it's better. It's easy for me to go live because it saves on footage. And I'm trying to do all these interviews with all these different trainers, and it's like, man, if I'm filming it all the time, my phone is getting filled up to the max. And I got like a couple more interviews to do. And eventually, one thing I want to do is I want to come to one of y'all classes, and I'm gonna stream that live. And my friend had it. He put it.
I can't wait to put you to work.
Don't get too excited. I might tap out. But what I'm gonna love about it is, I know there's people like to see the trainer getting coached. So I come in. It's not me telling about fitness. It's y'all explaining it to me, telling me how to do it, and I just follow. You know,
you got.
I do have the right to tap out at any time though, because I got a class.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, I can tap out if I want to.
Okay, well that's
my rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, so I want you ladies to go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them your Instagram at, and just let them know.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandy Iro. I'm the CEO and founder of Fitness Shiro and the co-founder of Rise and Conquer Bootcamp. And you can follow me at Sandy, that's SANDY .fitness, FITNESS .Shiro, SHERO.
And I'm Coach G, CEO of Armor Fitness Co., as well as, like Sandy said, the co-founder of Rise and Conquer Bootcamp. You can follow me at gbmichaels.fit on Instagram, and you can follow our Rise and Conquer Bootcamp page at RC Bootcamp on Instagram.
Thank you, girl.
I got you.
You know, somebody just thought about. I keep showing it. I'm old. Let me turn the screen around so we can see if somebody's right. I do this every time.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all. Let me make this switch real quick.
And you're not old, Corey, because if you say you're old, then I'm old.
I'm gonna tell you what.
And we're the same age. We're the same age.
I might not be.
Oh, that's. There we
There we
go.
go. Hold on, we're gonna fix it up there. There we go. I may not be.
My Virgo rising is showing.
I don't think I'm technically old by age, but I show it in my actions, in the way I move, especially the way I work on the phone. I want to thank everybody who's tuning in right here. This is something we're going to try to make normal. We want to connect with other trainers. We want to promote each other and help you guys get more into fitness and get more aware. Today, I wanted to get these two women together with me because, for one, I respect what they do. I've worked with her. I've known her from Instagram, so basically there's a big respect around here. And I want to get you ladies in here to basically come at you from my perspective as a male trainer and what I deal with, and present you guys with some of the challenges and problems I may come across, and see how you guys deal with it coming from understanding.
I love this.
In it. Yeah. So I would say the first question, one thing that I find difficult with dealing with women a lot of times, it's not me being me, but this is me dealing with women sometimes. I'll hear a lot of women say, I want this body, I want that body, I want to change this, I want to change that. But when I start to give them the instructions on how to eat, and I give them the instructions on how to work out, they don't want to follow through with it. And I'll get a lot of times with Corey, you're a man, you're coming at it as a guy comes, you're not thinking about what we go through as women. And I just want to get, what do you guys think about that?
I have a few things to say on this topic. So I'll say this. Number one, there are women and there are people who just make excuses. Point blank, period. Right? I've ran into them myself in my own business where I coach only women. And at the end of the day, a lot of people want to change without them having to be the change that creates the outcome that they want. Right? So we have to acknowledge that women sometimes, that's just how we are, right? If you don't want something to happen, you're just not going to make it happen, right? Number one. Number two, I think from your standpoint, Corey, when you are providing solutions to women, your experience, your knowledge, so just going ahead to include some of that information that you already know in some of them solutions to show them that you know about periods and menstrual cycles and hormones and how they affect training. So that way, that part of the excuse eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to be a woman to understand the science of how the body works, right? Now, is there an extra level of understanding? Yes, but it doesn't take rocket science to understand that. And then last but not least, and I think Sandy, this would be a part where you can hop in on, is at the end of the day, you have to want it more than where you're at right now, right? You might be so comfortable being a little chunky, talking down on yourself, and what is the real reason what's the real resistance, right? What's the real thing keeping you from showing up? Because he is providing solutions, and we all will provide solutions, but if you don't take it, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You know what I'm saying? So I'll pass it on to Sandy to pick up there. But yeah, it's all up to you at the end of the day.
It really is. I love this question. I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective. A lot of women have this unworthiness about themselves. And a lot of times that unworthiness shows up as excuses. And oftentimes we don't really know the underlying issue or the belly issue until you dig a little bit further. So instead of allowing them to say, oh, well, you don't understand, and resisting all of that, ask more questions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Ask more questions, not only for their sake, but even for your sake, for your knowledge base, right? Like allowing yourself to say, actually, I am the expert in this, and here's why I know about it, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have plenty of other women who actually did listen to you and saw the results that they needed, right?
Yes.
So there's your proof. There's your evidence right there. I don't need to have a woman parts to understand how this all operates. Here's my proof right here.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And at that point, either they're going to shut up and be quiet and listen, or they're going to continue to resist and stay in the same place that they're at. And at that point, you have to put your foot down. You got to set that boundary and tell yourself as a coach, I've done everything I needed to do to guide you to this. And honestly, it's one of those things where you got to, let your hands off the wheel and say, okay, if at this point, if you want to continue dealing with the same cycle over and over again and allow yourselves to stay in this stagnant mindset, knowing that I know what I need to do as a coach, that's it. You can't control people at the end of the day. Right? And really ask yourself, too, as an individual, as a woman, like, where is my capacity? Where is my expectations at? Because a lot of times they want those things. They desire those things. But in reality, it's really hard for them to do those things if they're not even just taking those small habits into consideration. So instead of eating the whole elephant, Corey, tell them, let's take some bites. Let's take some chunks. Maybe not do this whole overhaul situation, but let's just focus on this thing this week and just see how you feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that will definitely turn things around, in my opinion.
Yeah. I even wanted to add on to that because we had talked about it earlier, just like temperaments and approaches, right? Like, y'all know Corey.
We love you, Corey.
We love Corey so much, right? And even now, he knows how to be soft, right? But at the end of the day, this is a real man, okay? This is a grown man, okay? And there are parts of that it doesn't matter how soft he is. Like some women just can't do that, right? And so I think a part of really your analysis as you talk to these women who are coming to you for help, right, or asking you for advice, along with analyzing like, hey, what's the real reason, what's holding you back kind of thing. When you discover that it's all out of your hands, I would even encourage you and even encourage the women to be open to handing it off, right? Even for example, because me and Corey met when we worked together at a gym, right? One of the things that was just in practice in normal gym trainer culture is, if this client don't fit me, I'm handing them over to you, right? And so the same can be just like this, right? So I know I've had male guys DM me on Instagram and be like, hey, I love your stuff. Like, what do you do? Da, 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 da. But I only coach women. And so I've like I've sent them to Dio, right? Or which is another friend of ours, right? Or I've sent them your Instagram, and I'm like, hey, like shoot him a message, like he's great, like those kind of things. And so like handing them off to other people, right? I was even telling Sandy the other day, like I've had people, even women, reach out to me, and they're like, I have this like autoimmune issue. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have experience with autoimmune issues. PCOS, diabetes, I got you. Right? Rheumatoid arthritis, I got my girl Ashley over here. She's great with systematic like health issues. I'm gonna pass you over to her. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes in our analysis as to like why these people are so resistant to us, sometimes it's just us. Like they just don't connect with us the way we want them to.
Now, okay. So you said with connection. So what if when you do meet the clients who are connecting and they love what you do and they believe in what you do, but for some reason they can't follow those steps on their own? Like they'll come to the gym. You say we're gonna do 3 times a week, 4 times a week. They'll do that, but for some reason the diet part won't come. And so one thing I experienced with a lot of women is it's not the fact that they won't eat, but the thing is they really into the carbs. And then when I'm like, well, you got to get more protein. Well, I don't want to get big like a guy, and I don't want. And I'm like, that takes very. I'm like, it's guys who don't get big like guys eating protein. So I go through that struggle of trying to convince them and teaching them. It's not just you got to eat red meat. It's not just you got to eat eggs. There are a plethora of different sources of protein that you can get. Sometimes they're open to it. Sometimes they just don't want to put the effort into figuring it out on their own. Yeah. So as coaches dealing with women, how do you get women into the protein fix? Like they'll say, oh, Corey, I ate a salad today. And I'm like, what was the protein? I had
or I got all the bread, all the rice.
And I'm like, that's great. But I'm like, but we want to burn fat. And then I'm gonna be honest, I rarely meet a woman who don't want to build the butt, or build the thighs, or build the legs. So I'm like, well, building is protein. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you're gonna have to get that. So as coaches, as lady coaches, how do you get other women to bite into the truth of getting protein in their diet?
Right.
I feel like it's really important for them to focus beyond just the aesthetics, right? And listen, everybody's out there for a nice booty. Everybody wants some nice abs, all of that. And when we start chasing just the aesthetics, we lose the reason why we need to do what we need to do, right? And when individuals like that come to me with that, because I do have clients who also say those same things, I encourage them to go back to their why. Mm-hmm. Like, why did you even start this to begin with? Was it just for the aesthetics, or was there a deeper reason why? That deeper reason why is going to connect them to the food, right? Yeah. I had a client, she phenomenal client, great friend of mine. She had a very high metabolism, but on top of that, she was under eating in terms of protein, but also wanted to add muscle. And I said, okay,
right. None of
that don't work. That don't work. And I realized that she loves journaling, and I said, okay, how can I connect something that she loves doing to something that's maybe not necessarily something she enjoys doing, and allow this to be a space where she can feel grounded and empowered. So I said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to write down how you feel when you eat this particular meal. Not just in terms of like bloatedness, right? But like, how did you feel to actually eat that meal for yourself? And when she was able to see that on paper, black and white, I felt strong. I felt empowered. I felt resilient. I felt energetic. And I said, don't you want to repeat that same feeling over and over again for yourself? Yeah. And guess what? We added 12 pounds of muscle that year. Right?
Yeah.
So it's more than just telling someone to do something. You got to understand their why and remind them of their why, because that allows them to be accountable for their actions, not you. Right? You're just bringing that awareness. Yeah, that's it. You're just saying, hey, I'm just making sure you're accountable for the things you said you wanted. Right? And so that goes beyond just, okay, well, you're going to add muscle. They're like, okay, so?
Right.
Yeah,
right? They don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Some of my clients, they come to me and say, you know what? I'm ready for this next chapter of my life to be my healthiest. Okay, well, that means fueling your body with those things so that you can see 50, see 60, see 70 in that longevity for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got me, Corey. So that's my answer to that.
Honestly, I think one turning point for me as a coach that helped me a lot with a lot of issues like this is learning that I'm not just paying attention to fitness, right? We're low key therapists, right? Like psychologists, right? Like talking, like, and not even to minimize our clients like this, but when you think about positive feedback and like reinforcement and those kind of things, right? So when it comes to getting your clients to get in more protein, there's a few things that I think of is one, like Sandy said, like tie back to your why, right? I know one exercise that we both have is like the 5 whys, right? I want a big booty, tight waist. You know what I'm saying? Okay, why? Because I want to look good. Okay, why you want to look good? Because I want to like feel confident when I look in the mirror. Why do you want to feel confident when you look in the mirror? Because I don't right now. Do you like that? No? Okay. You know, and like really digging deep, right? And those kind of things. I know for me as well, from a more practical standpoint, your girl is an ADHD kind of girl. Okay. Me, I don't do resistance. If I don't figure it out, if it's not easy, if it's just too hard, I'm not doing it. Right. And so I can see the same for a lot of these clients. So one thing I've learned to do is like, okay, cool. What food do you like normally? Like in general, don't try and impress me. Don't be like, oh, well, I eat salad or I had this protein shake. No, like be real. Like, what do you like to eat? Right. You like burgers and nuggets? Okay. Make burgers and nuggets at home. Right. Like cook like 5 patties on a Sunday, put them in the freezer. Right, pop them in the air fryer when you're ready, season it up, we ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I eat like a kid. I will literally have chicken nuggets and broccoli. Right? Like it makes it work. I just pop it in the air fryer, you know, get it done and I'm eating it, right? It's about like finding what you already like and making it better. And then educating them / like authority right there, right? When they talk about I don't want to be bulky, I ate a salad, I'm cutting out all these carbs, right? Number one, the level of intentionality and programming you have to even look remotely like Corey does. Like, it's stupid, okay? It's ridiculous. Like, we can work out all our lives and never get there if we don't have the level of intentionality that these bodybuilders that you're seeing have. Okay, like they dehydrate themselves, okay, like to look like that, right? Number one. Number two is understanding that, I'm saying this with love, 90% of these nutrition facts you got are off of social media. They're not verified, they're not scientific, and they're probably from someone who also has a food issue like you. So being like, oh, I cut out all these carbs. Okay, now you're tired and you don't want to do anything. You know what I mean? So it's just as a coach, educating them on, okay, this is what actually works. And then when they're resistant, okay, but I saw this and this is what worked for me and all that stuff. Okay, but why are you here with me then? Why are you paying me?
Yes.
Because you're not going to pay me if you know everything, or else you would have been where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? So I think like education, psychology, and like my biggest thing for me is just reducing all resistance, like making everything as easy and efficient as it possibly can be.
Yes. So that actually helped me segue into the next part. Okay. So one of my friends, he had told me something. He was like, Corey, you be doing a great job. And he brought something to my attention. He said, one thing we don't think about a lot of times is how programmed we are as a people. Mm-hmm. Like, he was like, they have us so programmed on go to work, get off, eat, go to sleep, go to work. And that can bleed off into like you're not working on any of your own projects. You're not investing in yourself as far as trying to figure out another way to make money besides just going to work. But he was like, in none of our programming, even from our own parents, have we been taught to take care of ourselves. He's like, it's been eliminated. Like, they'll tell you to go get money, find the person you love, Get you a good house,
Yeah.
make sure you're stable, and then you see a lot of people who get money, they get house, they get success, and then they die early. Or they get sick and something goes wrong. So my next one would be then as women, dealing with women, how do you help to deprogram a woman? How do you help to get them to understand that, hey, it's, I'm too short on time. I don't have time to work out. Well, you don't have to do 2 hours a day.
Right.
You don't have to work out 7 days a week.
Right.
But we do have to get in 3-4 days. You can get in 20, 30 minutes here and there. And I ain't going to lie. And walking don't count. Walking don't count. That walking stuff, I went walking. I'm like, man, you walk around. Everybody walk all day.
Right.
If walking got us in shape, everybody be in shape.
Okay.
I tell you what, we'll get you. Say, how many people you see walking stairs every day? I say stairs will snatch you up left and right.
Yeah.
So,
but we be going to elevators.
exactly. So my thing is then, as women, how is it that you guys help to deprogram a woman and reprogram a woman that, hey, fitness needs to be a part of your life. You need to cut out the mimosas and brunch. It's not saying you can't do it, but this can't be a every weekend. This can't be a 2-3 times a weekend. How do y'all deprogram? How do y'all deprogram a woman and help to reprogram their mind to focus on fitness and make it part of life?
It's honestly, again, going back to being a psychologist and a therapist, it's a reframe and having them understand the reality of what they think they're sacrificing, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, especially like with the time excuse, they're thinking like, oh, well, I don't have time. I got all these things to do. I got these, especially as women, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm taking care of these kids, like they need me, but you feel burnt out at the end of the day, right? And as me and Sandy, we're both Nigerian, and so for us, that kind of stuff is even more potent because women are supposed to be the like statue of strong in the household, which looks like never resting, which looks like always working, which looks like putting yourself as a sacrifice for your family. But as a child looking up at my mom, and maybe Sandy can attest to this too, is what you think you're doing as a mom, never resting, is not doing what you think it's doing, right? You're teaching your kids that they never need a break, that in order for them to be successful, they cannot rest. But you as a mom, you see them, you want them to rest, right? So that's one thing. But then also, again, reframing and letting them understand all these things that you do for your kids and for your family and for your job that you want to keep at that high performing level, right, is your reason. You actually can't keep doing that at the capacity that you're at. And the only way that you'll be able to like stay at that capacity is by taking the time to fill your tank, reinvesting yourself, so that way you can keep that capacity, right? I talked to a lady the other day and she literally described herself as the engine of her family, right? We all know cars. It ain't going nowhere without no engine, right? So if we have that reframe of one, like, we're not like our actions show more than what we say. Two, that our energy and the capacity that we want to serve at is dependent on us investing in ourselves. And lastly, just understanding that at the end of the day, ma'am, these kids gonna get out the house. Your man's gonna hang out with his boys. You gonna be by yourself one day. That job can, God forbid, but that job gonna drop you one day and not care. Who are you? And hire somebody else. Like, who are you and what value do you have for yourself when you're not in these roles? You know what I mean?
Yes. And I hear that right there. I hear a lot of women. You go ahead.
I love this question. First of all, just last night I was actually a panelist at Chase talking about this very thing, the importance of physical health and money health, right? Yeah. And so one of the things I heard you say is their goal is to, make sure that they, break generational wealth, make sure that they break cycles, right? But part of that, and I mentioned it last night, your physical health is your foundation for that. Right? You can't build a house, at least from my understanding, without a strong foundation. And that foundation is your body, it's your temple. Sure. And so as much as you say a walk isn't a workout, I'm going to wholeheartedly disagree, brother.
That's the core.
Okay, I'm going to wholeheartedly disagree, and the reason I say that is because movement is movement.
True.
Right? It's better than them sitting their asses down and not doing a damn thing. And so it's one of those things where, okay, I'm going to accept that was a win for you, but how can we take it another notch, right? Maybe that walking was, okay, you did 10 minutes, but let's do 30 this time around.
That's me.
Or maybe, let's maybe add a 30-minute strength training on top of that, so we're not allowing ourselves to lose the muscle just by doing cardio only. Because I repeat, I am not a cardio fiend, okay? But I do believe in getting steps. Yeah. I don't.
You were cardio queen, girl.
No.
I didn't see y'all videos.
For me,
I've seen your videos.
For me, cardio is not the only thing that I do, and that's why I show different parts of my activities, because for a lot of women, as long as they're finding fun in what they're doing, it's a win, right? And that's where you as a coach say, okay, kudos to that. And now we're going to push you just a little bit more out of your comfort zone. Just a little bit more. And that growth mindset of pushing them out of their comfort zone builds resilience. It builds consistency. It builds empowerment. So for some people, it's not an overnight thing. Sometimes it takes weeks. Sometimes it takes months. This is something that they have been dealing with for decades.
True.
And now you're stepping in thinking you're going to reverse something in 90 days as a coach. And that's not going to happen.
That's true.
Right? So you yourself as a coach have to be patient with that and just acknowledge, okay, they went walking. Because when we first started, they weren't walking at all.
True that.
Right?
True that.
And so I'm not one to believe in positive toxicity, right? But I am one to accept my wins. And I love allowing people to see their wins, because that's what's going to take them to that next step.
Get those small victories.
So, to continue to be able to show up in that growth mindset that you're ultimately looking for from them.
So, go ahead.
Sorry, can I reply to that real quick?
You always got a reply after me.
I do.
I'm going to have a reply.
I do. Okay, that's cool.
I'm like, let me just keep it off.
No, because there's things in there, especially for women, that I see and that concerns me, that I want to make sure are clarified, right? Okay. That although we celebrate our small wins, I think sometimes we give ourselves way too much grace, right? Where the win, what is supposed to be a small win is the win, and that's not the case. Right.
That's when you come in as a coach to push them.
Right. And so, obviously, like you said, that's where we come in and when we push them. But also when it comes to earlier, how you said, this is an issue that you've dealt with for a very long time. And so, yes, we celebrate the small wins. I'm glad that you're walking. But because you've been dealing with this for a very long time, I need you to understand how important it is to implement strength training, to implement maybe, adding some little extra something, right? Yeah. And you can get creative with it, right? So if you have kids, play with them, right? Kids weigh heavy, okay? I got a 4-year-old nephew. He heavy, okay? So do it when you throw them up, they're like, "Oh, do it again." Yeah. Well, we're doing 10 reps of this because that squat presses, really, right? And so getting creative with it, but they're just acknowledging that there is some balance between celebrating your wins, giving yourself grace, but still holding yourself accountable and being like, okay, I'm being a little too easy on myself and I need to lock in.
So going into that, you both said something about the resistance training. So with that, a lot of times I get the women who will be like, I want to walk all day. I can do the Stairmaster. I can do that. I want you guys as women to explain the importance of resistance training for a woman. Because the first thing you'll get, like I said, you'll hear, well, I don't want to get bulky like a guy, and I don't want to get this. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. And also on top of the importance of resistance training, what's the importance of resistance training with also helping with mental health and mental stability?
I love that question. So that's several ways I can answer that one. But yeah, you did layer it up on there. The reality of it is, the older we get, it doesn't matter if you are a male or a female, your muscle starts to weaken. Yeah. It starts to degrade. And without that added resistance, it's going to just degrade faster. So the question is, how do you want to have your lifestyle be? How do you want to exist in these next 20 to 30 years? Because it starts right now. It starts not when you're in your 70s, 80s. Trust me, I've seen those out there too. Because boy, amazing. But if we are allowing ourselves to address it right now, let's address it right now. Let's allow ourselves to push through and get that weight in our hands. And by allowing ourselves to get that weight in our hands, it's a ripple effect. Your hormones start to get imbalanced.
Yep.
You sleep better, right? Like, so beyond just the ability to lift that weight, you're going to feel so much better. And everybody talks about they want the certain body, the certain aesthetic.
Girl,
baby,
you're taking it out of my mouth real quick. Sandy, stand with me. I know this is wholesome, but Sandy, come here. Come here. Nah, bro. Okay. Come on. Okay. Okay. Continue with your point. Just wanted to point that out. Continue.
You're so silly. As y'all saw GB and I demonstrate here, these came from lifting weights, all right? You got to understand that it's not always about lifting heavy all the time, right? Depending on what it is that you're going for, sometimes it's just a matter of saying, you know what? I'm going to listen to my coach. I'm going to put my head down and push for it in this sense. But ultimately, if you want to build that trust for yourself, if you want to show up for yourself mentally, pick that way up. That's going to carry over into your business. That's going to carry over into your relationships. That's going to carry over into your self-care, into your self-love, to your spirituality, all of it. So once you embrace that and recognize that that's just the anchor of what's going to allow you to really elevate to this high-performing woman, this divine femininity that we all want, you got to pick them weights up. Period.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think specifically on the health point too, it cannot be stressed enough how preventative it is to have muscle mass on you, right? I'm currently in grad school, and so I'm learning all about the diseases about diabetes and heart issues and high blood pressure and all these things. And to understand how preventable these things are, but how much it's plaguing our population right now is so sad. And it's literally by resistance and strength training, right? And literally, I saw some research that, especially as you get older, there are three very important organs, right? Your heart, your brain, and your quad muscles. Quad muscles, these are right here, right there. Because as you get older, obviously, your muscle mass naturally decreases. You want your independence. You want to be able to hang out with your friends, but you're more likely to fall, right? But what keeps you from falling, or what helps you catch yourself, are your quads, right? So that way, that prevents you from having a hip injury, right? Then
knee problem
or knee. Those are your back problems, right? That's all resistance training, all these muscles, right? Because you built that core. You've got these stabilizing muscles in your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads, right? So even as you get older, you're less likely to fall, first of all. And then even if you do, the damage is non-existent or very minimal. And that way you can have a good quality of life even as you get older. Right. And then another thing I would say as well is when it comes to strength training, I know it can be intimidating for women. One thing that Sandy said is it doesn't have to be heavy, right? We have two very different approaches to fitness and we tire each other out. Okay. Me, I'm a heavy lifter. Okay. I want to deadlift, right? I want to scare all the guys in the muscle. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to scare them. I want them to look at me and be like, ooh, I don't want to mess with her. You know what I'm saying? I'm a heavy lifter, right? And Sandy, she's more of a resistance training coach. She does high reps, body weight, bands, right? Me, give me the dumbbells and the plates, right?
Because I'm 41. I'll be 41 in a couple of weeks.
Don't look a bit like so. Okay, she look like me.
Yeah, things change up when you know what I'm saying.
You can still lift heavy, right? But like she said, like you can still get these results with both methods, right? I as a coach have done Sandy's workouts and be tired on the floor, struggling, right? And vice versa, where she's like, how am I supposed to carry this? She's looking at me like, why do you think I can do that? Right? But it's because of our specialties, right? And so, no, you don't have to carry all that weight. No, you don't have to be in the gym, be wondering who's looking at you, right? And all those different kind of things. You can start from where you're at, body weight at home. But again, just make sure to elevate, make sure to progress and increase the weight. But it's so crucial, way more than aesthetic. So crucial.
The clean diet and the healthy lifestyle gives you the byproduct of a good looking body.
Oh yeah.
That's like once you do what you're supposed to do, because if you're trying to get into it just to get a great body, after 3 months and you don't see your body change, you're gonna want to give up.
And I've heard that multiple times.
But if you just fall in love with I tell people it's that process.
Mm-hmm.
Fall in love with the fact that the first week when you used to work out 20 minutes, you used to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
And a month later, now you're doing 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, now you're doing an hour. And that's when the clients start adding on days. They started with
I want to be with you 3 days a week.
Yeah,
there
they
you
started
go.
with I just want 1 day a week. Then they go to 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Then I had them clients who go to 5. Then I get to a point where I got to tell them, we don't need 5.
Yeah, you don't need five.
Let's go with 3.
Yeah.
Let's just go with 4.
You do need rest.
Yo, you need some rest days. And I would say, so the last question I want to get into, and eventually I want to do this with y'all again. Like I say, we all got things we got to do. Like I say, I do my more cardio this evening.
Yes.
The one thing I want to plan to, and you don't have to get this vulgar. Like I said, I've been trying to figure out a way how to promote this without being as comical or over vulgar. What? That ain't even a word. My girl.
Just say
over vulgar. I know she gonna be like, God, Jesus. The thing is, so we all grown here.
Yeah.
We all got spouses. And then eventually, at some point during the week or the day or the night, we're going to jump in that bed. And I will speak as a man first. I tell a lot of dudes, one, I say that water hydration, flexibility, strength building, and cardio for stamina endurance, that will benefit you so much in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, as far as the pleasure part, what you're doing for blah, 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 that's y'all. But as far as your ability to hang in the pocket, as far as your ability to maintain and do whatever it is she needs you to do, or just for you to enjoy what you want to enjoy, there comes benefits from working out. Like it's gonna help in that area. So when I try to tell women this, I ain't gonna lie. I had years ago, I had this woman who said this, no lie. She said, I be wanting to stay on top longer, but my knees be hurting and I can't stay up there. Or I heard a woman one time, she like,
I love that why.
Okay.
She was like, I'm on top, and I don't like when I'm on top and I look down, I see my stomach hang. So I just wanted you guys to like let the women know, like, you don't have to get super bold, but what's the benefits also from eating right and working out and taking care of yourself that also transfer into the bedroom work? Because that person you love, you want to keep giving them the best of you.
Right.
Well, working out and taking care of yourself is gonna help you give them the best. Well, like Anita Baker say, giving you the best I've got.
Period.
And I might have messed that up, but y'all know what I'm saying.
No, I got you. I'll let Sandy do this first because she's been with her man longer than I've been with my man. So I'll let her come from her experience. Shut.
I ain't got no man. I got a woman. I can't. My man.
Okay.
Let me deal with my woman.
Okay.
Okay, so I did want to kind of go backwards from our last talk off. Something you said, Corey, and I just want to make sure everybody understands my perspective on this, because I do feel the importance of focusing on the output versus the outcome, right? And so I really love how you said it, but more importantly, just focusing on that. And then ultimately, the outcome will show itself out.
Yeah, I like that.
And the same thing translates to your question as well, right? Like, a lot of women want that connection. They want that that intimacy when it comes to their partner. My husband and I have been together for almost 15 years.
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not ashamed to say we've been going to couples therapy for maybe the last 4. And that was because I felt like I was so emotional and he's so logical. And so how we approach things was so different, right? And that same thing can translate in the bedroom as well. For me, I would want you to be in shape so that you can keep up with what's going on so that we can connect on a deep level, right? Mm-hmm. But for him, logically, it's like, I don't want to be out of breath, so let me make sure I'm not just out here on these streets looking a hot mess. And then when I get ready to satisfy my girl, I'm not out of breath. That's how he thinks. So, but at the end of the day, we come to the bed with the same agenda in mind. Okay. Yeah. We're going to make sure we're happy on both fronts. And the more you allow yourself to show up and understand self-care in that sense, you're able to show love to your partner as well. My friend Dee, she talks about the importance of self-love a lot. And a lot of times you can tell your partner that you can benefit from being more flexible, being more active, doing those things. But if they don't love themselves first, if they can't tap into themselves first, they're not going to be able to love you the way that they want you to be loved. I'm just going to keep it 100. Yes. And that was something I can admit that I struggled with. Yes. I really didn't understand self-love. I thought it was just like a trend, right? But it wasn't until I started going to therapy that I was like, oh, self-love means doing the hard things. Mm-hmm. Self-love means setting boundaries. Self-love means saying no. And I was able to create that space for myself to where I can love myself. And now that I was able to love myself, I can now love my husband. Yeah. And he saw that within me. And so he was like, what can I do to make sure I love up on myself and make sure that that love is also reflective in my wife? Because we are mirrors to one another at the end of the day. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. So, yeah, hope that answers your question.
I like that a lot. I think very similar, actually, because for me, it again comes from like the self-love, but also from the intimacy part, right? Like, you know, it don't start in the bedroom. Okay. Like, it starts by that look. Okay. It starts by walking by a little extra close. You know what I'm saying?
Doing the laundry.
Doing the laundry. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you're not going to want to do those things and have those little nuggets of intimacy that lead up to what makes the bedroom so exciting if you don't feel confident about yourself, right? If you don't feel sexy within yourself, you're good. No, you're good. Like, if you don't feel sexy within yourself, or like if you don't feel like when you put on that one fit that like, no, you're good. That, you know, oh, he gonna like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna, what you think you're doing is not gonna do what it's doing because you don't feel that way, right? And then as well as like men they honestly, and we appreciate it, truly do, right? Y'all just happy we there, okay? Okay, like they're like, I don't care what number the scale said. Right. Okay. I like you. You know what I'm saying? But it can create a level of distance in that intimacy if when he tells you that, you don't believe it and you're like, nah, it's fine. This is so true. Whatever. And then it can turn into something so much more because then he thinking, oh, she don't want to be with me. Yep. Oh, like, what did I do? Or what I'm doing to her. Right. It's self-love. So it all starts from believing it within yourself. And then like even when if and when you see your partner, you know, declining, right? You can use that same thing because again, like Sandy said, she had it within herself so much that her man's was like, ooh, let me get there.
What he's not going to do is do what I told him to do. That's just doesn't work in my world.
They never do. They do what they see us doing that they like, and they're like, "Ooh, I want that." Then they do it. But if I just told you straight up, like, "Hey, I think you should do this," they'd be like, "Yeah, I'll be all right."
They gotta do it because they want to do
it. Yeah. As logical as y'all are, y'all still want to be persuaded. So, anywho. That's for another lie. That's a different conversation.
Another lie.
Okay. But at the end of the day, like, as women, right, because we know the way our men work, we can't go up to our man and be like, babe, I think you gaining a little bit, or I didn't really like this night that we were here together, right? You got to go all the way around. right? And come from a more positive and encouraging part. Again, it starts from you. If you don't think you're sexy, then it don't matter when you come to him and you're like, hey, babe, how about we do this together, right? It's something that's beneficial. You know why y'all doing it. He don't know why y'all doing it, but you know the outcome's going to be exactly what y'all need to have the great evening that you want. At the end of the day, just like Coach Sandy said, it starts from within, right? Obviously, we know you're going to be more flexible. You can stay on top longer, okay?
Good knees.
Good knees, Megan Stallion knees, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have all of that, and that would be great, but it's deeper than that, right? Like, it's the intimacy that comes with that. And if y'all are beefing, or if one of you feel like, oh, she doesn't want me, or oh, subconsciously he thinks I'm ugly even though he never said that, like, then you could have all the making needs you want, but it's not gonna like really hit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say I'll piggyback on that as if for a man, it's definitely that. Like I say, for me, I'll tell you out the truth right here. This is back when I was married. And I would I love you, baby, but you know, I tell the story. But back when I was married, me and my ex-wife were together for 20 and a half years. It was at some point about 14 years, and one day we was making love, and she just said, get off of me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, you don't do it like you used to. And what it was, now that I'm older and I learned from it, I had got selfish, and I got in a cycle where I do this, then I do this, then I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and that also came from a lack of connection. I wasn't paying. She was like, you don't pay me attention no more. She was like, you used to make sure I get mine. Now you just, and what it was, I thought that what I was doing selfishly, she was happy with too, but I wasn't paying attention, and I wasn't connecting with who she was. And once, at first it made me mad. I ain't gonna lie, it made me mad. I was like, F her, man. She talking over here giving her the best
That's the Pisces in you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give her this, but eventually when I learned, I said, man, hold on. This woman loves me enough to tell you what the issue is. You now, like you said, when a woman tell you, you now need to give her what she wants. And that came from me slowing down, paying her attention, and just trying to connect with who she was as a woman and her true needs. And that's why I believe everything you're saying. It's all about that connection.
You gotta. The woman has to feel safe, because when she feels safe, especially emotionally safe in that sense, then she's going to be more receptive towards you saying what needs to be said. Because at that point, she's like, I completely trust you, and I feel safe in what you're talking about.
Yes, I was looking for that, because that is true. We don't need much. I tell women all the time. I said, I'm telling you right now. I said, you don't need a dance. I said, you just lay this stiff like this and go to work.
That's a lie.
You know what I'm saying? Now eventually we might get tired of.
You'll be talked about.
We might get tired of it after a while, but that go back to the, I'm just happy to be here.
Right.
You know, I'm just happy to be here. So, and then, like I said, one day that'll be a deeper conversation where we'll talk about that. But today, I think this was a good first opening. Like, I want to do this with y'all again right here, because I think it's only going to grow. Then you got one guy, and I'm talking about what I'm talking about, but then you got two women who are like, hey, and it's not just one woman. So the ladies who watch this ain't going to be like, oh, she don't know what she's talking about. Oh, she is. I agree with her more on this point. Oh, actually, I don't like what either one is saying. I like what Corey's saying. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it'd be a good opportunity. So I say it's getting late. It is a Thursday. Thursday? Is it Thursday? It's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow Friday. I know we all got things to do early morning, so I just want to thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. I want you to come through again. I appreciate you. Of course, we're going to do this more again. And I say next time that y'all see us, I'll probably be at one of their classes, get my ass kicked.
He will be at one of the classes.
Yeah. You know.
And there's no such thing as tapping out. Little does he know.
We love you. We love you.
So, man, we want to thank everybody who came through and watched. Like I said, check out their Insta pages. I'm going to tag them, and I'm also make this a post. And then, like I say, just take some good information from here. You don't have to agree with everything, but it should be one or two things in here that should hit you and impact you in a way that makes you want to move in a positive and progressive way. Hopefully, we just brought some awareness to you to make you think about something, or maybe we just created a conversation for you and your trainer, or you and your coaches, or you and your homegirls to talk about. And we just want to see everybody grow and get better from it. So,
period.
Yep.
Until the next time, thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
And we out this thing.
Bye.
Ooh. Yeah.